Warning. The following video contains 5 to 10 minutes of incoherent gushing about a game that you probably have never heard of. If you want to know whether this game is good, the answer is yes. Absolutely go play it, link in the description. It's like $10, just pick it up. However, if you do want to hear me incoherently gush about a game that I love for 5 to 10 minutes, stick around. There's plenty of it. Also, for sake of fairness, I'd like to clarify that while I am now part of the game's kind of sort of quasi-advanced user group, this video is unaffected by that fact, as all the following footage and footage before this was recorded before that was the case. Thank you for understanding and enjoy. Now, I've been talking about good games lately, and I kind of want to get away from that, because talking about good games just isn't very interesting, in general, at least to me it isn't. So I wanted to at least close out with something insanely good. Now, my favorite kinds of games are multiplayer games, FPS games, stealth games, and tactical games. My favorite game of all time is Deus Ex. So here is this multiplayer tactical FPS stealth game based and inspired by SWAT 4, Deus Ex, and Metal Gear Solid. This game was like made for me. This is like the perfect game for me. And frankly, if I had to choose, it's probably about on par with my favorite game, which again is Deus Ex. This is a perfect game for me. There's not a single part of this game at all that I don't like. First of all, the combat. Combat in this game is like my favorite combat, FPS combat specifically, in any game I've ever played in my life. It's not an exaggeration, because this game does something that very few other games can do, is that this game, at times, can almost feel like guerrilla warfare. You need to get the jump on your enemies, and there's so many different ways to do that. It's incredible. To really describe what I'm talking about, I'm going to have to talk more generally, though. You have, in Intruder, a lot of tools. A whole lot of tools. Most of them are ripped from SWAT 4, but you have a lot of tools. Like, you have the spy cam, for instance. You have motion detector, C4. You have CS gas grenades. You have smoke grenades, concussion grenades. You have a pistol, your SMG. You have cardboard cutouts of yourself to play with. You have so many tools in this game, and there's no shortage of ways you can use them. Now, most of the clips in this video are going to be from Shadowplay, because I have a lot of Shadowplay clips, and so much great stuff just happens in this game that I can't really just describe it with words. Here, let's watch a few. Let's watch a few.
She's clear, but upstairs not.
I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Man, this is the worst Snake Eater ending ever.
Someday you go through the rain.
Oh! That was dramatic. What?
Tree frog. It's so deep.
Alright, Yaba. You gotta do good, bud.
Alright. Okay. I'm coming for you, baby!
It worked!
It worked!
Record
It
that!
worked! Nice try! Ow. Okay, I guess I'm just going back upstairs now.
Now watch and learn. Here's the deal. We'll slip and slide.
You might notice in one of those clips that I managed to headshot a guard with a grenade. See, that's one of the best examples, I think, of all the different ways you can use a weapon in this game. Let's take, for instance, the CS gas. This is just tear gas, basically. You can throw it in, and it'll pretty much blur the vision of any players who are hit by it, and also will invert their mouse controls for a little bit. That's not the only thing you can do with this. Of course, you can apply that one ability in a ton of different ways. You can, let's just say, launch it across the map with C4 to take out a sniper, potentially. You could even possibly use it to sneak past a room. You could use it as a distraction from the sound. You could even, in this particular clip, throw it at a motion detector to trick the enemy who set down that motion detector into thinking that you're by the C4 that you put by that motion detector until it detonates it, and then sneaking in and shooting him in the face because he happens to think that you're dead. These are all... Actually, no, these aren't all the things you can do with it. There's so many different things that you could do with every single thing in this game. This game, right? This game, at least as of right now, has 3 guns. Well, you have mortar, but that doesn't really count. You have 3 normal guns you can just have in your hands. They are usable in different ways, and when I say different ways, I mean seriously different ways. The pistol is actually sometimes better for long-range engagements than the SMG, depending on your situation. It's also silenced, which means it's really, really good for stealth kills on the enemy team. The SMG is pretty accurate. It's good for close quarters, mid-range, and far range, but without the dot sight that you have to pick up from around the map, it's really, really hard to aim with it accurately. You can do it, though. And the sniper rifle, it has bullet drop and scope sway and like wind sway and all that, but if you're good at it, the sniper rifle, it's a weapon of mass destruction, more or less. You can completely destroy the enemy team with just a sniper rifle. There are so many different things you can do with everything in this game that it has perhaps the deepest possible, what's the word? Competitive possibilities. Let's say you're playing Counter-Strike, right? What can you really do with the M4? Like the not M4A1S, just M4A4. You can shoot enemies with it. You can do that. That's about all you can do with it. In Intruder, all of those weapons can do much more than just shooting. I mean, practically, yeah, it's just shooting. But you can apply them in so many different ways. And one of those ways is to knock over enemies. You see, enemies in this game, or really all players, have a very special physics system. If you hit them in the legs, usually when they're standing or something like that, they can fall over. And when they fall over, they're pretty much completely incapacitated for a few seconds. You can do whatever in that time. And this alone makes the combat system so much deeper. Like, let's say, you're shooting down a hallway or something, and you get hit by a bullet, and you get knocked down. You're more or less screwed, really. And that just makes it to where every hit counts. And this also kind of goes hand in hand with the suppression system. Like, if you fire near an enemy, it'll suppress them, it'll blur their screen, it'll make them have less accuracy. I might seem like I'm kind of stumbling through this, and I am. Admittedly, I am totally stumbling through this. But that's the thing about Intruder. It's so hard to formulate exactly what makes this game so good. Because there's so many elements to it. There's so much to the game. Yeah, that's totally not gonna throw off the auto lighting. There's so many elements to this game that just putting it in the words is hard. You have to play it for yourself. And this game, you can play it for yourself. Yeah, it's $10 on their website. Like, it's not on Steam or anything yet, but it's $10 on their website. It's not that much. I mean, look at my playtime. It's ridiculous. So for $10, you get like one of the best games I think I have ever played. And the community for this game also is small. It's pretty small. Like, it's really quite small, but it's very tight knit. And if you want to find someone to play a game with, it's not hard to do, unless you're in like Russia, I guess. But like, other than that, I'll say it like this: if the concept of a stealth action FPS SWAT for competitive stealth game sounds in any way appealing to you, you need to play Intruder. You owe it to yourself. This game does so many things that I've never seen any other game do, in a multiplayer setting no less. You can do recon on the enemy team, and it's natural. I haven't even gotten into the voice chat system. Actually, you know what I'm going to say about the voice chat system real quick? It's also the best I've ever seen in the game. I bumped the thing. That's probably fine. The voice chat, also the best I've ever seen in the game, is that it has spatial voice chat. The closer you are to an enemy, the better you can hear them, and the better they can hear you, and the same applies to teammates. You can only communicate with your entire team by using the radio, which is, well, if you're talking to the radio, enemies can still hear you talking into the radio, which adds so much more tactical complexity to the game. Let's say you want to do some recon on the enemy team. You can do that. You can sneak up, say, through some vents to the enemy team, and you can listen to their tactics. And it's that kind of thing, that kind of gameplay, and that kind of immersion, I suppose, that creates just one of the best games I have ever played in my life. Just play Intruder. Like, I'm not saying, scratch what I said earlier. With Trespasser, right? I said, maybe play it. With Nerf Arena, or Nerf Arena Blast, or whatever it was called, it was play it if you like Unreal Tournament. Intruder. Play Intruder. Absolutely play Intruder. I don't care about anything. Just play Intruder. This is a catch-all, an absolute catch-all recommendation for the game. That's all I have to say about it, really. I can describe this entire thing in 2 words. Play Intruder.